They say each of us carries a well. Some find it in dreams, some in silence, some in the black oceans behind their eyes. Hidden in plain sight, the well waits. Some go a lifetime without ever seeing it, until the moment their lives flash before them and they understand too late it was always there. I used to dream of peace in a patient ocean, a quiet tide unmoving, a place where the void softened and let me drift. Weightless, the water rose to meet me at whatever depth I needed, shallow enough to stand or deep enough to drown. And at the center of that silence always waited the well. It looks simple, wooden boards lashed across the dark mouth, words carved into the rim like bones left out for sorting. Die, live, hate, love, cry, laugh. I would lean over, breath fogging the surface, and see myself but wrong, dark or warped, like I was only the echo, and my shadow the source. I jumped in, I expected to land somewhere else, some stranger world, some brighter dream, but I only woke again, floating back in the ocean. So I did it again and again, until falling became a ritual, not unlike tossing coins into a wishing well, except I was a coin. Sometimes I jumped with a wish, other times just to feel the gravity again. That's when I began to notice the well is not a passage, it is a mirror. What you bring in decides what you see. Yeah. Restlessness brings rapid, sorrow brings undertow, hope sometimes brings color, moments of strange joy, faces long gone, laughter I forgot I remember, colors bright enough to pulse like breathing. Happiness is not given, it is revealed like sunlight on water. It was always mine. The well only let me feel it without the noise. But sadness has hooks, it drags, it lies, it tells you it means something more than it does. That the nightmare is a message, that drowning is learning. I've clawed through too many dreams, trying to translate suffering into something holy. I've seen people drown in their wells, watch them live half-lives on the surface, angry, numb, afraid, and never once realized what dragged them down. They thought the world itself was cruel, that grief was native to the air. They carried their dreams like verdicts, never knowing they could wait. I have seen certainty become the mask for fear, people mistaking mirrors for maps. Ritual was repeated like spell work, scripture recited instead of truth felt. But a mirror only flatters, a well confronts. I've used the mirror too, we all have. But mirrors don't change us, it all happens in the well, and that's what divides the living from the drowning. Wellness is not comfort, it is confrontation. It is the shaking hand reaching over the rim. It is jumping again and again and again, each time clumsy, frightened, carrying one small thing back with you. Sometimes it's just the breath, sometimes it's a memory, sometimes it's the decision to try again. Joy now is different, quieter, not safety, not always, but a kind of knowing. Knowing the water will hold me even when I'm heavier than hope. Knowing that love is not always kindness, and yet love remains. Knowing that joy can arrive even when uninvited. I know now that everyone has a well. Some will never see it, some drown, some run. And a few, the very few, learn to leap with intention. Like visiting a library, like approaching a temple with mud on your boots, like listening to your own voice for the first time. Sometimes I wish I could show people, point to that black circle behind their eyes and whisper, there, that's where your truth waits. But no one can walk you to it, you find the well alone. Some never realize that nightmares are not punishment, that confusion is not chaos but invitation, that the terror is a doorway, not a verdict. And so they wander, afraid, rigid, believing they are whole when they are only armor, until finally the light arrives and it is too much, and they don't know how to let it in. I am not whole, I wake from dreams choking on silence. I mistake kindness for danger, love for control, help for shame. The joy sometimes feels fragile, like thin glass over deep water. Some days I don't even know what river I stand in, or if it is a river, who am I? What am I doing here? What did I think I could fix? Still, I return again and again. and again and again, because I must. Because the well is not cruel, not kind, not anything except truth. And if I can stand long enough, if I can breathe deeply enough to stop shaking, if I can fall with expectation, then perhaps wellness is not escape. Wellness is the act of falling and still choosing to swim. My laugh once felt like a coin tossed into a well. It always feels like only now I understand. My call, not for help, for witness. If you are listening, if you hear the water calling from behind your eyes, know this: the well is not the end, it is the place where you begin again.